I mean, what's happening at the National Gallery is an absolute disgrace. Not only a bunch of millionaires are trying to terrorize low-paid museum workers and sell them off to corporate criminals, but their power is so great that they are supported behind the scenes by even more powerful forces. I mean, Mervyn King, former governor of the Bank of England, is one of the trustees. Mark Getty, image copyright millionaire and son of oil billionaire Jean-Paul. Hannah Rothschild from the billionaire family. Lady Hazeltine, partner of former Margaret Thatcher minister. Hedge fund billionaire Michael Hines, who donated £3 million to the Tory party over the years. John Singer, another Tory party donor. They are actually quite dangerous people. You know, they are misusing public money and bringing a strike-breaking force into the gallery. They want to dispose of our public assets on the advice of a former G4S employee. They are intimidating staff by threatening the sack at Christmas. We had to cancel our strike. They are suspending our grant, and they're even preventing us to have a peaceful process.
It's well said that the dominant economic doctrine of neoliberalism is destroying civilization, and there could be no clearer example of that than the destruction of the working conditions of those who work in the National Gallery. Privatisation, we know what that's all about. It's about driving down wages and conditions of the workers who are privatised and driving up profits of the contracting companies that secure the privatisation contract. And that's what's being done here.
One of the things that's included in the inquiry document is our alternative plan, which shows that yet again it's not accurate when they say we've rejected all of their proposals and we've rejected any suggestions of flexibility, because you will see that we're proposing an alternative that could actually guarantee them the flexibility that they need at the same time as being acceptable to staff in terms of the pay and conditions that they would be working under.
The inquiry is quite an important step for us now to get this as distributed as widely as we can, to build up a body of evidence about to support a rational way forward. We'll get this round to all MPs and ask them to submit their views as well. The key issue here is we need to win the argument, and I think we can do. We know we've got alternative proposals that stack up, but we've got to try and engage with the new director and also the elements of the board. As Clara said, so the Secretaries of State and Ministers have washed their hands of this. But if we can build up the response to the inquiry in the next few weeks, whoever is the incoming government, if we haven't resolved the dispute by then, we can actually then try and get the incoming government to address it properly with a proposal and a plan that's well worked out on the basis of consultation. The exercise, which the gallery should have done in the first place, we're now having to do it for them. It's almost like having to manage the whole process, which they should have undertaken.
I want to say that I'm here from the Green Party, and the Green Party is incredibly supportive of the PCS Union and in this dispute. We, the Green Party, is completely opposed to outsourcing and privatisation of public services, and were we to get into power, which is probably not going to happen straight away, but we may have some influence on power, we would want to start bringing things back into the public sector.
But when you look at the trustees, you know, it is a rogues gallery. And I have to say, when Mervyn King, the former Bank of England chair, is the moderate on the panel, and then, you know, you're up against it. And we are talking here about, you know, hedge funds, equity traders, millionaires, very, very rich people who have absolutely no truck, not only with trade unions and what we stand for, but actually workers, who actually often see workers as just a commodity that they will squeeze as much as they can get out of in order to make profits. So we are trying to convince people who are very hard-nosed.
And they have claimed that the reason why they have to privatise is because they want to increase access to the gallery, and they want to extend the access to the National Gallery. And that really is a breathtaking misrepresentation of what is behind the thrust of what they're doing. The privatisation proposals have got absolutely nothing to do with that. In fact, they are the reverse, really. And they are driven by the fact that there's been a cut in the funding to the gallery, and therefore they are looking for how to make money out of the gallery. They're looking for how to have more fundraising events. They're looking at how to have more paid for events, how to have more events that are for their corporate sponsors, which include the oil companies and the arms traders we don't have anymore, but and they are nothing to do with opening up the kind of access that we would like to see and the outreach that we would like to see happening in the gallery.
And if they win, not only do we lose the argument about public access to what are our great treasures, not only do we actually get a situation where very rich people can actually act as they want, despite all the support that we muster, what it really tells us is a glimpse about the future. And the future is our members who work in there, in a privatised environment. This gives us an idea of what lays down the track. And for people who are so dedicated to where they work, to really have this stick hanging over them is completely unacceptable, and it is the real intimidation.
Without going into details, some of the things that have been going on in the gallery over the last few months they are quite brutal to the staff who work there, and it's very shocking. Issues about health and safety and people trying to stand up for their rights, finding it very hard to be listened to and treated in a way that is absolutely appalling. And the last thing that I want to just highlight that comes out of the inquiry is the use of the private company CIS, because we think that it's something that really needs to be got to the bottom of. I can't ask the question how much this private company has cost, but anybody can work out that over a course of a year that they are now bringing in a company that is surplus to requirements. They're not needed. They are on top of the existing staff, and that money is being paid for by the public. We need to get to the bottom of that, and one of the things that we're suggesting in here is that it needs to go not just to an inquiry but to the National Audit Office to look into the use of public funds in this way.
It's a very good document, and it's very important to stop the tendering before the election. It's almost cynical. They're developing, they're putting the tender out 2 days before a general election, which might change the whole environment for a public service like this.
So what we need is a policy of the reversal of privatisation and the extension of collective bargaining. We need it here in this dispute in the National Gallery, we need it in the National Health Service, we need it on the railways, we need it in the Royal Mail, and we need it across the board in Britain. It's a simple policy, it's easily understood, any voter can understand that, and voters would love it if only it was being offered to them. So, I say good luck with your dispute. I wish you every success. Any way I can help, I'll be honoured to do so. This is a very, very important battle for us to win.
I'm convinced we'll win this, and I think that the amount of public support is phenomenal. Every time you raise this issue, the media support that we've had, the journalists that have been writing commentary pieces for us in support, I think has been tremendously successful. That is down to the campaign that's been waged by the union. Well done, campaign, all the union who've been involved in that.
We've got one of the most dedicated workforces you can find, taking 17 days of strike action. And therefore I think it is incumbent on everybody to go in and ask themselves, what can you now do to help make sure that we can win this dispute? Our union will carry on supporting those members, and we will carry on doing that financially, and we will carry on doing that by trying to provide whatever support that we can. But the more people who can make an issue of it, with their MPs, with their politicians, that's bound to help. Let's get a just settlement, because not only do our members deserve it, but actually the people of this country deserve so much better than this shower of trustees are giving them. It's a scandal, and we've got to make sure that we stop it.